diplomatic confrontation has been triggered following the downing of a Russian jet by Turkey. The Turkish military said it shot down the jet after the aircraft was repeatedly warned about violating the country's airspace. Russia has called Turkey's action an unprovoked attack. Joining us to discuss this and more is Oleg Belakolas, Ukrainian foreign policy expert and former diplomat. Welcome to Viewpoint.
Thank you for inviting.
So do you think this will spark a wider conflict in the region?
I don't think so. There are many examples like this, not many, but some examples like this in modern history. And there is an example, sad event which happened on September 1st, 1983, when passenger aircraft of South Korean Airlines was shot down by Soviet aircraft in far eastern region. And according to Soviet authorities, pilots also did not respond for their calls. So we could compare at least somehow this situation and make and predict that, of course, it would be kind of escalation, but I don't think that it could sparkle big conflict in the Middle East.
I see. So you believe that this will not spark a wider conflict, a confrontation between Russia and NATO?
No. No, because we heard the statement of NATO Secretary-General. He said that NATO clearly supports territorial integrity and sovereignty of Turkey.
Yes, however, so he backed Turkey.
Yes, and however, he also asked for de-escalation and diplomacy. And I think that in a couple of days we will hear about some contacts and consultations, and somehow this it would not evolve in a bigger conflict.
Now, the plane was shot down over the Turkey-Syria border, and experts say that this is the region in Syria where moderate rebels fight. And Russia has been accused of launching airstrikes against moderate rebels, which Western backers also support. And U.S. President Barack Obama said that this was just the latest proof of Russia's wrong steps in the Middle East. Do you agree with this?
Let's make a look from a little bit broader perspective on the situation. It's a quotation attributed to Anthony Eden, former British Prime Minister, who said that there is nothing more dangerous than a foreign policy based on unreality. And we could use this quotation to describe the Russian foreign policy. It's a foreign policy based on mistakes, and this Syria operation, Russia intervention into Syria conflict is a bigger mistake, and such concentration of military power in a small region that is in this studio maybe 4 weeks ago could easily lead to escalation. As for this particular case and this moderate fighters against Assad regime, supported by U.S., eventually supported by U.S., we are not sure.
There was a video of a Syrian rebel who was firing at the helicopter, and he could be seen what appeared to be a U.S.-made weapon that he was using. Now, what kind of reaction do you think this will have in Russia?
Of course, it would be angry reaction, but it would be directed into Russia. No, in the world, it's I don't think that it will make huge consequences or something like this, because these fighters could easily say that they bought this equipment in a nearby store, as Putin said during one of his press events with journalists, responding the question, how can these people in eastern Ukraine get those tanks and ammunition and uniform? So
very, very interesting. But considering that Putin, after the Russian jet was downed, he went on and in a very icy speech, he said that this was a stab in the back. And how is this going to be perceived at home? Because recently a Russian passenger plane was downed in Egypt, where a lot of people died. And is Putin likely to back down, considering that the response at home over his intervention in the Middle East has not been as successful as he's put it?
I agree with you, and this will go in the line of current Russian propaganda directed for the Russian population with all these anti-West sentiments. Why I don't think that this situation would not lead to a bigger confrontation is that Putin wants to have at least common ground with other countries on a basis of anti-Islamic state. And this situation, he would not use this situation to jeopardize his policy. After these Paris attacks, he would like to have a common ground with France and some other countries. So I don't believe that he will use this opportunity to ignite some more confrontation or escalation with West. But inside Russia, of course, this brave anti-West rhetoric will continue and continue because he needs support of the population.
So what will be some of the wider implications in the Turkey-Syria region?
Of course, this destabilizing effects will continue, and we see that Islamic State is in a full capacity. We heard about Mali situation, Tunisia, today's attack against presidential guard. There are also some other indication that in Europe situation is not good in this sense, and West is afraid of Islamic State. And even military defeat of Islamic State will not mean that Islamic terrorism, these fanatics will not make any more terrorist attacks. But to say frankly, I don't think any possible, despite these Vienna talks, I'm very skeptical about possible solutions.
Do you think that Putin will get more support, more Western backing in his anti-IS coalition?
It could be some political statements, but not military cooperation. I don't think so. It could be some protocols between military not to allow further incidents like this anymore, but no any broad, frank, sincere cooperation between US, France and Russia in the sense of military operation, like in the sense of true coalition against Islamic State.
I see. Now, what about trade relations between Turkey and Russia? How do you think they will be affected?
Of course, they will be affected. As for Russian tourists, for which they like to go and relax there, I think that they will continue because they enjoy to stay in Turkey. And
what about the gas pipeline deal that Turkey and Russia has? Turkey has come out and said that it will not be affected. The trade minister, I believe, said this. and Russia has not come out with a statement yet.
It's difficult to respond on this at this moment. We have to think. We have to wait until a couple of days. In a couple of days, we will learn more about possible implications on trade and investment.
Thank you for coming in. It was a very interesting discussion today.
Thank you.
This has been Mr. Oleg Belakolas, a Ukraine foreign policy expert and former diplomat. You've been watching Viewpoint on Ukraine Today.